Hey, everybody. Welcome to another installment of the Rooster Stone Show. I am here with founding member of the band, Brian Herr. Skin hitter, thing whacker, whatever you want to call him. That's what he does. That's who he is. So welcome him to the show. Brian, glad to have you here. We're going to do another episode of What Are You Listening To? The show where we just talk about what's spinning in our playlist, man. What's going on in Spotify? What are you spinning at home in your private component stereo system if you're an old head like me? Whatever's going on. What are you listening to? So there's no reason to beat it to death, man. Let's get at it, Brian. You want to give us your first song? Tell us what's up.
All right. My first song is Spanish Moon by Little Feat. Live, recorded in 1977 and released in 1978. I just prefer the live version better
I prefer
than
live
the studio
versions.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bass line really comes out in a live version. Mm-hmm. And you know me, I'm a drummer, so I listen to drums and bass. Mm-hmm. That's what I listen to. I could listen to this bass line on repeat for hours.
It is catchy.
Like, that's what I hear in this song. The drums, the percussion, the accents with the horns. I sit down at the drums and play along with this and do different stuff because it's just fun. Mm-hmm. Like, I love the rhythm of this song.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to for me.
Yeah. This is a good one, man. I like the choice of this tune. I really like Little Feat, but the groove of this song, this was a good one to choose because it just gets in you.
Yeah.
You know, whatever's going on with that groove, you're just like, yeah, man. Love those horns. Man, love me some Little Feat.
Yeah, it's kind of repetitive, but it doesn't get boring at all.
No, it's not long enough to get
No.
boring, really.
Well, and that's the reason I like the live version is because you get an extra 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there you go. I have a tendency to prefer live versions in almost every circumstance.
A lot of times they have more energy.
Yeah, well, there's something about it, and you can also tell, oh, this band is actually really good.
Right,
They're not just sort of like studio magic.
Right.
But excellent choice. I love that first song to start us out. So for my first song, I chose a song called I'll Be There by an artist named Michael Rout from his album It's a New Day Tonight in 2018. I first saw this guy in a flower shop in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest in 2018. A very bizarre place to see a band, but very nice.
Not at South by Southwest, though.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I saw a band in a hat shop once, and they were great, too. So he was one of my favorite artists that week. And, I saw a lot of really great people that week. But his sound is both retro and at the same time new and refreshing. He looks and sounds like George Harrison. So for fans of the good old-timey music or fans of new music, he's going to strike the right chord for you no matter what. He is both a good singer and a talented guitar player. So if you listen to this tune, prepare to kind of get lost in his catalog for a while. He is a real deal performer. He is outstanding.
That is exactly what happened. I had never heard of this guy. I listened to it and I thought, this sounds like a modernized version of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then I went down the rabbit hole and just started listening to all of his stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not what I typically listen to because it's more singer-songwriter driven. Mm-hmm. But I like it and I listen to it.
Yeah. It has some texture to it.
Yeah.
It's different. And it, even though it's retro, it still sounds new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Good. So what do you got for song number 2? And now for something completely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Taking us back to high school, my first concert I ever went to was Helmet. This song is Unsung by Helmet off the Meantime album released in 1992. Like I said, first concert I ever went to at the Chameleon. Awesome. Outstanding time. Page Hamilton, I think he's brilliant. He studied jazz guitar at Manhattan School of Music. The driving, staccato, repetitive riffs. Again, I'm a drummer. This song is very rhythm heavy. The band is very rhythmic. That's what I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And the original drummer, John Stanier, was one of my favorite drummers. I can't tell you how many of his fills I've ripped off and put into our recordings. A lot of stuff, even if it's a little different. A lot of the stuff that he does, I was like, oh, that would sound cool in this song.
Yeah.
And I incorporate,
Well, you and every other musician who's honest, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, man. That's just what music is. It's
Absolutely.
the reason it gets better. This is such a great choice too, and this is so you. As I was listening to this list, it was like, yeah, this sounds like Brian. These guys take me back to a certain time of my life, and you said, high school. That sort of just that's the time period it takes me back to. Late high school, early college. But that stunted verse riff, that really does rock. This is a good choice. It's a good song. Awesome. All right. So for my second song, and here we go again, now for something completely different. This is what you get with me and Brian. It's amazing that we're, been in the same band for so long. So I chose the song Cotton Jenny from Gordon Lightfoot from his seminal album, The Summer Side of Life, 1971. This song is easily one of my favorites from an era that I dearly love. I grew up with this music. This was the kind of music my dad listened to when I was young. The early 1970s were a time when everyone but Dylan were unplugging and getting back to the roots of American music. From that opening lick, this song has energy to it. It's pure 1970s country. It's easy to forget how good Gordon Lightfoot's voice is if you haven't listened to it for a while. But he is also one of the finest lyrical storytellers in music history, and this song is no exception. Every time this tune comes on, I listen to it 4 or 5 times before moving on. Because it's so short, I just want to hear it again. It's flawless.
Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot's one of those artists that I don't think about, I forget about, and then you bring it up and it's like, oh wait, I forgot how good he was. Mm-hmm. And I know I talk about how I don't listen to lyrics, I don't care about lyrics, I listen to rhythm and drums and bass. With Gordon Lightfoot, you can't help but listen to the lyrics. He's such a good storyteller.
He demands your attention. He really does.
You absolutely focus on the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And you don't even think about it. You just gravitate towards it.
Yeah. And his voice is so unique. He's got that low-end baritone. It just, it gets in me, man.
You can't help it.
Awesome. So, we're already at your last song.
All right.
How about it?
My last song is another one of my favorite bands that I've seen in concert more times than I can count. The song is Ghost by Clutch off their Blast Tyrant album from 2011. This is a band that writes, I think, great lyrics. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't usually listen to lyrics, but when I listen to this band, I can't help but hear the lyrics. I can't help but pay attention to the lyrics. And the way this song builds, it starts with the acoustic intro. It gradually builds towards kind of like a vocal bridge that just rocks, and then it fades out.
I felt exactly the same way. The building in this song, it does. It's like every change is offering something more.
Yeah. Like I love that about this band, the way they structure their songs.
Yeah.
Every time you think you've heard it, they add something to the next verse. They add something to the next chorus, and it keeps the song fresh.
Right. Yeah, how many times have we talked about this in rehearsal over the years? Give the song someplace to go.
Right.
And we were even just talking about that with some of the stuff we were working on tonight for the new album that's coming up. It's exactly the same concept. Give it someplace to go. Have it build and go someplace. And this song really does that. For me, though, with this band, it's always been his voice. It's almost like every time I know that what it's going to sound like, I should expect it. But every time I hear it when it first comes in the song, it gets me again. It's like it just gets you. His voice is so unique and deep. And broad. It's hard to explain, really.
It's almost like he's just being himself and doing what he does. He's not trying to sound like anyone.
No, not at all.
Just this is what we are.
Yeah, it's almost like you're taking this guy from like the 1970s sort of like country era where it's like baritone bass guys, and you're throwing him into a metal band.
Right.
It's really neat. I really like, in this particular song, I really like the guitar lick in the chorus too.
Yeah.
That's really neat, and a nice little change the way he does that. But excellent song choice. Clutch. I knew you'd have some Clutch in there.
There might be Clutch every time.
Yeah,
I
that's
listen
okay.
to them a lot.
Yeah, man. You know what? Get people into them because they're a great band. So for my final song, the final turn into something completely different, I chose the song Stash by Fish from, in my opinion, their very best album, A Picture of Nectar, 1992. This song is so groovy and catchy. It just gets in you. The narrative storyline is so very fishy too. Just listening to the lyrics, and the lyrics don't even start until a minute and 40 seconds into the song. The transitions and the dissonant drive of jazzy goodness just allow you to close your eyes and fly back to your smoky, patchouli-scented dorm room circa 1993. I'm sorry, did I say that all out loud? This is a headphone song. The entire band is so very talented, but Trey Anastasio is a generational guitar player, perhaps the most versatile on the entire planet today.
I agree with everything you just said. I've been listening to a lot more Fish lately. I've been listening to a lot of Trey's solo stuff. Because Trey's solo stuff and Fish, it's another band that I just love sitting at the drums and playing along with.
I've said this so many times talking to people about this band. Before I saw them live, I always used to say, man, what a great band. And after I saw them live, I was saying, man, what a great guitar player. And I don't want to take anything away from the other guys because they are absolutely titanically good. But he is just so special and so good. He demands that you pay attention to him.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So there it is, man. There's our list of, one of the most eclectic groups of songs you'll ever get. But see, that's me and Brian. That's what we are. It's what we do. So tell us what you're listening to. Make a comment on social media over at Rooster Stone, comment on the YouTube video. You can even make comments on Spotify. I'm not sure about Apple Music, but maybe. Anyway, if you do, I don't know how to turn that on. So maybe you could help me. Anyway, leave us a note. Tell us about some songs you're listening to because you might end up getting a song on the show and I'll give you a shout out if I like what you're dishing out. I'm always looking for new music. I don't know about you.
Absolutely.
I want to hear what you got. So let us know what you got, but don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to Rooster Stone all across all this stuff. Check us out at www.roosterstone.com. Listen to the new music that we've got out there. We've released a new album this summer. We got another one coming out, hopefully spring, early summer again this year. So check us out and hopefully, you'll like what you hear. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to wish you peace and one love. Come on over to roosterstone.com, where you can book the band for any event you can imagine. Acoustic, full band, whatever your event may require. You can also email us to take online music lessons at an affordable monthly price. Don't forget to download our original music and like, follow, and subscribe to Rooster Stone across all social media platforms. Keep rocking out at roosterstone.com.